Well, hi folks, this is Darren with My RV Works. It's a privilege to work with you on answering some of your questions. What we have going on now is a session we call 10 Minutes with a Tech, and it's just a real simple thing. People will watch our videos, they'll ask questions down in the comments, and we review those questions and we pull them out and we have an opportunity to answer those questions. And so if you like this kind of a thing where we're going to cover all kinds of different topics on these Q&As, and so make sure you click the bell, subscribe, like, all those types of things, so when these come out, you're able to get that information right away. Maybe there's a piece of information in there that we share that might be what you need, or you might know a friend that needs this information. So without any further ado, let's jump right into some of these questions. Thanks for watching. Next question is coming from Darren. Daron. It's funny because he even made a comment, because my name's Darren, but I'm Darren and he's Daron. So it's a shorter version of Darren. So hi, Darren. I don't know where you're located. You didn't tell me that, but we did have fun with your name. You were telling us that. So it sounds like him and his wife are having issues with his Suburban furnace. They've done some work on it. They put on a new control board, new thermostat, found out some issues in the wiring on the wall for the thermostat. But here's the bottom line of his question. He could get his furnace to ignite by covering the fresh air intake. Okay? So covering the fresh air intake allows his furnace to ignite. Other than that, I guess it's not working. So on that Suburban furnace, I can, if I was there and you told me that it's, and I did it, and I'm covering the air intake and it ignited, my first question would be, what's your LP pressure set to? So I might be curious to see what that LP pressure is, and I would do an LP pressure test to make sure your pressure is good. Different states run these different ways, so you need to make sure your states are set, but we're going to put a link. I make an LP tap jig where you tap into the different LP lines. I'll be doing a whole other video on that. I don't have it with me now, but if you're in a state that doesn't allow you, RV owner, to do it, then don't do it. But if you're an RV tech, I would highly recommend getting this kit. I've been doing LP work for many years, and there's really nothing out there for us RV techs that does everything that this kit that I come up with does. So there's a link for it up there for our LP tap jig. It's fantastic. I love it, and I like doing LP work now. So if you're an RV tech and you're certified and you're licensed in your state, by all means, I want you to go check out what we offer for our LP tap jig. So for you, Darren, what I would like is I'd like you to do an LP pressure test on that, or get somebody that is licensed and certified and everything to do that LP pressure test. We need to prove that that furnace is getting the proper amount of BTUs in order for it to work. If it's not getting enough BTUs, it's not going to work. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing I would like you to do, and I've got videos on this as well, I need you to pull out that burner head. Okay, I did a annual service on, I just did a video, we'll make a link to it up there, annual service on a Suburban furnace. Okay, and I think that was a two-part video if I'm not mistaken. Sid does all of our editing, and I think he decided to break that up into two parts. I don't remember, but what I want you to be looking for is maybe something like this. Now, this is out of an Atwood furnace, but you see how that's all cracked and everything? Let's see if we can get it to focus. Hold on, Sid. There we go. All right. You see how all that's all cracked? Okay. Your burner, now this is out of an Atwood. I went and looked. I could not find one for Suburban. Suburban's more of rounded. But in that video that I referenced, I do have the burner in my hand, and I'll show you that. So I want you to look at your burner. If your burner is cracked, and on your Suburbans, what I want you to do is I want you to take the whole thing out and look on the bottom. Sometimes there's holes in the bottom of those things. And you're not getting that nice atomization of the LP, okay, to cause that ignition. Okay, LP is very particular on how much oxygen and what kind of ignition source it needs for it to ignite. It is very specific on that. And so your burner might be an issue. And so in order to do that, you need to go deep. And that's why I will reference that annual service on the furnace video. Shoot, if you watch that whole video, you'll be able to figure it out. Because even in that video, I talk about the LP pressure. So my recommendation would be to watch that video where I do an annual service. I would check your LP pressure, Darren, and I would also look at your burner head to make sure your burner head is not compromised and doesn't have holes in it. And another thing I would do is, while I was in there looking at that burner head, I would check the gap of that electrode over that burner. If it's too great, then it's got to jump a huge gap to get to it, and it just simply won't do that. So Darren, I enjoy your name. Thank you for watching, and I'm glad you enjoyed my joke. And I'll mention it here. Did you know that you cannot run in a park? In an RV park, in a campground, you cannot run. You can only ran because it's past tense. So, little dad joke there. Okay, thanks for watching, Darren, and thanks for all you guys watching as well. Bye. Terry's got a question, and he's in Lake Butler, Florida. So basically, he just bought a Lance 1130, and he's got a refrigerator in that Lance, and it looks like he's down in Florida. So he says it looks like it's been to the beach quite a few times, and a lot of the screws are rusted. His concern, though, has to do with his refrigerator. Apparently, there's a lot of rust on these cooling unit tubes. Okay, refrigerator's working fine, he states, but there's a lot of rust, and his question is that something he should worry with, or should he take the refrigerator out and clean this up and paint it? So Darren's take on this, I've worked on lots of refrigerators, I wouldn't worry about it, okay? I really wouldn't. You see how rusty this one is, but then you're gonna say, well, yeah, but Darren, that one's bad. They rust from the inside out, which is where your problem's gonna be. So as long as the rust is not like really bad, I've got a Jeep Wrangler, and I spent 2 winters in Buffalo, New York, and I was like, why is everybody washing their car? It's snowing. That's kind of dumb. These guys are, I'm a Louisiana boy, right? I don't get snow. And well, it was the next spring I realized the mistake. They were washing their cars to get all the salt off of it. So they're really smart, and I'm the dumb one. So, but the Jeep was fun in the snow. But anyway, so in that instance, there was a lot of salt on the roads that they use, and they do a great job clearing the snow. For Louisiana boy, that was amazing to see these convoys going down. You don't see stuff like that in Louisiana. But if the rust is not so bad, okay, let me break this down really simple. If the rust is so bad, then your refrigerator is going to fail regardless of what you do to it, right? Okay, so it's not like you're going to make it any worse. And it's not like it's going to get any better. The cancer is already there. Now, you can go ahead and clean it, but I just don't think it's worth it. I've worked on refrigerators, and they were really rusty, and the problem was a control board or something like that. It wasn't the cooling unit, okay? There's a sodium chromate component inside these tubes that keeps the ammonia from rusting them from the inside out, and so the salt water gets on these things. But you know what, Terry? I just wouldn't worry about it. I'd enjoy that refrigerator, and I would keep all my stuff cold and just not worry about it. Okay, here we have the tubings. I mean, you can see how rusted this stuff was, and this one failed. Why did this one fail? I don't see any yellow sodium chromate, but it may have failed because of a blockage. But look, you see how this rust here. But anyway, that's my take. I wouldn't worry about it. All right, thanks for watching. Well, folks, that's all the time I have right now to answer some of these questions. We try to keep these things short and compact. But if this was helpful, give us a thumb up, subscribe to our channel. If you like this kind of a content, you could support us on Patreon. And we also have some links on our website, myrvworks.com, where you can get to our merchandise store, our tool store, because we're making tools now, and also some links on Amazon, where some affiliate links, where we'll kind of put stuff down there that we use a lot. So it's a pleasure. It's a privilege to answer your questions. I really enjoy doing that as I get time. So thank you so much from all of us on My RV Works. Thank you for watching. Happy campers, say My RV Works.